Okay. All right, so good morning, everyone. Hopefully this is bright enough over here because it's rainy outside, so the room is a bit darker than normal. As we get ready for class, and I mentioned it before we started, if you have a bath towel that you can roll into a nice little roll, or you have a blanket will be just a little bit trickier because it's wide, but then also roll that, either the short way or the long way. You don't need both, you just need one or the other. I'm going to use, for what we're working on today, either the blanket or a block. But I wanted to start by reading something just to get us in the frame of mind. Hopefully with the new year 2021, I'm so excited. We start to really appreciate and love our bodies for what they can do, right? If we focus only on what it can't do, what our bodies cannot do, then we're always thinking something isn't right. Instead, I really want us to focus on what is right in our bodies and what they can do, and what we maybe take for granted every day. So this is a quote by Charlotte Bell. And she says, any person in a body who is practicing yoga is living in a yoga body, regardless of age, build, gender, or flexibility. Love your body, love your mind, love your heart. Ride their evolution with curiosity and delight. So that is where we are headed today. Start laying down with the strap. We're gonna warm up the hamstrings, do a little bit of core work. So you don't need your blocks right away, but maybe have one close by where you can reach it. And then come all the way down onto your back. Keep the knees bent. Let your feet be on the floor. Your knees can come to center, feet wide if that feels good for you. Your hands resting on your belly. Start to find your breath. The back of the neck is long. The shoulders are soft to the floor, not overly pressing. The belly is soft. The breath moves in and out effortlessly. Just feel that. Feel the external world starting to fade away as you move to the center of your mat, to the center of your body, to the center of your heart. And imagine that we love our bodies, we appreciate what they can do. We make a vow to stop picking at ourselves and instead loving all of the imperfections. We feel the breath. Then release the legs so that they are hips width apart. And just take the arms overhead. Just overhead, maybe reach the left arm as the knees head toward the right. And then center, reach the right arm as the knees go to the left. Good, and again, reach the left arm as the knees head toward the right. Reach the left arm. Or the right arm as the knees go to the left. And then center, reach both arms and just stretch out your hips. Stretch out both legs nice and straight. Imagine that you are waking up from the most glorious nap or night sleep. And release, bring both knees to chest. Hold the knees in, feel the rounding of your back. And then move the knees away, hands to knees, so that you feel the lower back move away from the floor. Good, bring it in and press it out. Good, 2 more, in and press it out. Good, last one, bring it in and press it out. And then leave your right knee in toward chest, your left foot to the floor. Take your hands behind your right knee and press it up to the ceiling. Point and flex your ankle. Circle your ankle one direction, big circles here. Really make that circle as big as it'll go for you. Circle the other way. Nice ankle foot mobility. And then point your foot up to the ceiling as hard as you can. No pain. And flex the foot as much as you can. Really stretch it out. Bend that knee, grab your strap, take the strap around your right foot, take the foot up to the ceiling. And just pause here for a moment. Your left foot is still on the floor. Your right quadricep is drawing away from you, but you're not hyperextending or locking out the knee. So it's just a soft back of the knee, even though the leg is straight. And notice how that feels. And notice if you bring your leg closer up toward your head, right? Maybe you feel more stretched. But try not to round into your back like we were doing earlier. Try to keep the sacrum on the floor. Now, conversely, others of you are going, what are you talking about, straight leg? That's not happening. Your knee is softer still, and still work on stretching the hamstring. Your leg can be further away, right? It can be here, more lower. I would rather you have a lower straight leg than a bent leg up toward your hips or your belly. So just see what you can do there, see if it'll work. And then push the pinky side of your foot toward the outside ankle. It's not going to go long, right? We're everting. So you're just stretching out the inside ankle and then go the other way. Big toe stretches down toward the inside ankle. Good, other way, just stretch as if you could curl your pinky toe side all the way over to that outside leg and go the other way. You should feel some pretty good stretching going on there. And take it center. Good, take your strap, wrap it around the outside of your right ankle, behind the ankle, and then to the inside. So you're wrapping that ankle outside to inside and letting that whole leg externally rotate. If this is super easy, straighten your left leg. If you're feeling your hamstring on the right side and getting a good stretch, keep the left leg bent. And just notice this, right? So we're working hamstrings. 3 different muscles comprise the hamstrings. We're just checking them all out. Center, lateral, and medial. So notice where you feel this. Notice how it feels to have the leg straight. What happens when you bend the knee a little bit more? Does that change your stretch? Don't worry about the leg coming all the way up toward your head. It can stay pretty much 90 degrees here. We're just checking this thing out and going, wow, feel that, right? And then release the toes back to neutral. Release the strap from the outside. This time wrap it around the inside of your ankle, inside leg, around the back and to the outside. And then give the strap a good tug and internally rotate your leg. So toes are pointing more toward the left hip. And just check that out. Maybe you move the leg a little bit. Maybe your left leg is bent instead of straight. Where is it for you? Can you find the stretch? Right? Can you breathe? And release, take it center, press the strap to the ball mound of your foot, and then pull that strap down. It's gonna be a deep stretch, everybody. Ooh. If your foot is sickling one way or the other, see if you can just square the foot. Just see if you can have all the toes pointing in the same direction. Ooh, yeah, and bend your knee. Release that leg and just compare one leg to the other leg. How does the right feel compared to the left? Already, right? Nice little opening. And then bend your right foot. Take the left knee, actually don't use the strap yet. Take your hands behind your left knee, straighten that leg up to the ceiling. Point and flex that foot, left foot, a few times. Notice your breath, circle your ankle, big circles here, really work the ankle joint. And circle the other way. You got it. And then point your toes up to the ceiling as straight as they'll go. Really stretch out that front part of your ankle, the front shin, and then flex your foot as much as you can. And breathe. And bend your knee. Take the strap around your foot. Take that foot back up to the ceiling. Pause here for a moment. The foot is nice and level. And then again, that eversion and inversion. So we're taking the pinky side of your foot toward that outside ankle or outside leg. Oh yeah, big stretch for the ankle, for the foot, maybe for the inner shin. And go the other way. Big toe starts to press toward the inside ankle, stretching the outside. Good, go the other way, one more. Good feet or foot exercises here, by the way, and go the other way. Big toe curls toward the inner line, and bring it neutral. Good, either keep that leg, or actually let's wrap first. So bring that strap around the outside ankle, bring it around the back, bring it around the inside, pull on the strap, the leg will externally rotate, toes are going out to the side. If this is a whole bunch on your hamstring, stay there, otherwise straighten the right leg. Try to keep a teeny space behind your lower back. Find your breath. And take a true moment to really just get a sense of how this feels in your leg. Right, we are all teachers for ourselves. And so this inner teacher of yours is going to tell you where to go next. Do you wiggle a little? Do you stay still? Do you move the leg away some more so that it is not as intense? Do you bend your right foot or right knee and put it back to the floor? Good, deep breath. And release. Foot comes to center, go the other way. The strap wraps around the inside ankle, wraps around the back, comes to the outside ankle. Hold on to that strap. The foot will turn in, the leg will internally rotate. Won't go as far for many of us, but for some of us, this is a more natural feeling than the external rotation. Just check it out. I know one of the guys out there is a big runner, and these stretches can really help with running, with keeping the legs healthy and more balanced. Deep breath. Good. Release that. Take the strap to the ball mound of your foot. Pull down on both sides. Woo! And breathe. Deep, deep stretch for the calf muscles, the gastrocs, the soleus, right? Maybe behind the knee, maybe up into the hamstrings. Good deep flex here, everyone. And release, bend your knee. Take that strap out, set it aside. Ooh, good. Straighten both legs just for a moment. Feel both sides. How's that feel? How do the hips feel? Maybe wiggle them just a little bit. And then bend your knees. Take your hands behind your head. And just let the elbows rest out to the side. Bring both knees
up toward chest, straighten the right leg, the right leg up to the ceiling, straighten the left leg toward the front of your mat. If this is no way, no how this morning, hands go underneath the sacrum instead to help support your lower back. Good, but otherwise you're just checking it out. You're just feeling your core. Draw the deep low belly, right? Deep low belly in toward the floor. Breathe. Take the left leg up, straighten the right leg toward the front of your mat. Squeeze the belly, hips are even. Legs are as straight as they can be, but don't overdo it, don't force it. And right leg up, left leg down. Left leg up, right leg down. Both legs up whole, point and flex your feet. Take both arms up toward the ceiling, draw the shoulders back and down. Lower your right leg and lower your left arm overhead. So opposite limbs going in opposite directions, the other two stay up toward the ceiling. Inhale, everything center. Exhale, switch. Left leg goes down, right arm goes up and back. Woo, squeeze your belly, everybody. Here we go, take it up. Exhale, right leg, left arm. Inhale, center, switch. Inhale, center, switch. Breathe. Inhale, center, switch. We got two more. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, everything to center. Everything softens, knees to chest. Circle out those ankles. And then come to a 90-degree angle with your legs. Now, if your knees are too close to chest, the belly is soft. You can feel it, right? Soft belly. Move the knees away enough so that the belly starts to tone and you feel this activation. Low back stuff, hands come underneath your sacrum just to help support it. Otherwise, your elbows can come to the floor, backs of your arms come to the floors, shoulders come to the floor, just to keep the upper body active. And then heel taps here. Let's start with 10. Right side, left side, that's 1. And 2. And 3. And 4. I told you we had 4. And 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. You got it. And 10. Ooh, good. Nice 90-degree angle. Press the belly into the floor. Press the arms into the floor. We're going to do 10 more. We're going to do singles this time instead of doubles, so it's just 10. The option here is to step the heel further out, which makes your core work harder. So either you're just tapping straight down or you're tapping a little further away. Here we go. So 10, 9, 8, squeeze that belly, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then take it halfway as if you were mid-stride and the screen froze, right? Just hold mid-stride and notice, right, that belly having to work super hard to keep you from either dropping the legs or bringing them in even closer. And then switch that mid-stride so that the other leg is lower. Press your low back toward the floor. Squeeze your belly, everybody. Press your shoulders into the floor and release. Take those knees to chest. Piece of cake, right? Easy peasy. Good. And then last one here, grab one of your blocks and take it between your thighs. So I have the block at the narrow level, the narrowest width between my thighs. And I just want to see where my core is again and where the lower back is. There's a tiny space back there. I can fit my fingers back there, right? So elbows come back down, lift your hips off the floor. We're coming into a bridge pose, but not a big one, not a really high one. And then I want you to squeeze the block See if you can feel the width of your feet and bring your feet in the same width as the rest of your legs. And from here, I want you to pull your heels back asymmetrically. We have just engaged our hamstrings, and we're working core and we're working glutes. But notice, if you push your feet away, you're less hamstrings, more quads. If you pull your heels in isometrically, you're gonna feel those hamstrings start to fire up. Good, breathe everybody. Keep the hamstrings fired up. Keep pulling those heels back, and then dip your hips to the floor and press up. Good, and down. This is 2. Good, press it down, lift up, squeeze, and down. That's 4. We got 6 to go, and 5. I love New Year's, woo! Good, squeeze, and 7. Keep squeezing the block. 8, and 9. Last one, 10, squeeze, listen up. Lift your ball mounds off the floor. Good, you're digging into your heels are digging back toward your hips. Woo! And lower down, everybody. Leave the block where it is, just maybe bring your knees to your chest to soften it up a little bit. There you go. And then feet to the floor, the block is still in place. The arms come out to cactus pose. Gentle here, careful, just lower your knees toward the right. And then squeeze your belly to lift the knees and let them lower to the left. Squeeze the block, bring it center, go to the right. Squeeze the block. If you squeeze the block, we're going to the left. It's going to help keep your core engaged. It's going to take the pressure off your lower back. You're just rocking side to side, but you're using the side obliques, right? Breathe. Good. One more, both sides, and we're almost done with core. Breathe. Come back to center. Find that sacrum, bring the knees back to 90 degrees. Plant your upper body to the floor. I'm still in cactus arms, but you can take the hands down at your sides as well. You're gonna just take those knees to the right, just part of the way, maybe a quarter of the way. Squeeze your blocks. Breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it center. Go to the left. Squeeze your block. 5. You should feel these obliques, these side belly. 4, 3, 2, 1. Center. Go back to the right. If you feel strong here and you want to play, go a little bit lower. I am only on my right hip. I'm completely off my left hip. Don't overdo it here. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Center. Go the other way. Last one. Good. And lower toward the left. Go a little more. Don't go a lot. Squeeze your block. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come to center. Oh, lower those knees. Take the block out. Roll your knees to one side. Come on up, everybody. Doesn't that belly feel good? It feels so good. Grab your strap. Remember I said we're gonna warm the hammies before we work the hamstrings. So strap around your left leg. Your right foot is into your inner left thigh, Janu Sirsasana. Hold on to the strap on both sides and then pull your chest back away from your leg, right? So I'm getting as tall as I can here, really trying to stretch out, not so much through the legs, but just through the whole torso, engaging the back body. Big deep breath. And then start to bend your elbows as you take the torso forward, but see if you can maintain 1, even hips, and 2, a pretty even torso.
So you're not just starting to dip and round already. Draw the shoulders back, draw the shoulder blades toward each other. Ooh, yeah. And then maybe invert and evert your foot. You're just kind of curling it one side to the other side. Yep, just holding some good tension on the strap. And then release the strap altogether. Take your right hand to the outside of your left foot or your left shin, if you don't want to go that low. Draw the right shoulder back, maybe come forward more, maybe not. Big deep breath. And come on up. Release. Straighten out your right leg. Bring your left leg in. Take that strap around your right foot. Stay tall. Imagine that there's a board behind your hips and the hips are evenly pressing against that board. Good. Press into the foot, press into the ball. Now roll your shoulders back, engage the shoulder blades. Breathe. Right? Everything else is optional. Just breathe. We know that. And then just bend the elbows. So I'm not moving my hands. I'm bringing the elbows back toward my side waist as I draw that leg a little bit deeper. Maybe I swish that foot around. Maybe I invert and evert, just trying to get some more stretch in the ankle. And then take it center. You can release the strap or hold it. Take your left hand to the outside of your right foot or the outside of your right shin. Your right hand can go wherever is comfortable and go a little bit deeper into your forward fold. Deep breath. Good, and release it. Come all the way up from that pose and come, have your towel or your blanket where you can grab it. We're gonna start on our bellies. You can lower your upper body, lengthen your whole belly, and then press your hip bones and your pubic bone into the floor. Bend one knee. Feel that hamstring, right? When we bend the knee, we engage the hamstring and straighten. Bend your other knee, squeeze the back of your leg. That's where the hamstrings are, back of the leg. Squeeze and let go. Squeeze your right leg, hold, and then bring your focus to the hamstring, right? This right here, right? This back of the leg. And see if you can feel it engage. Press down through the pubic bone, squeeze the leg. For some of you, knee issues aren't gonna allow a big compression, so you're gonna lengthen that leg even more, maybe lift it a little bit more, and just bend it to your level, to your ability, no big deal. And release. Go to the other side, bend your left leg. See if you can feel the hamstring engage. As you press down through the quadriceps, as you press down through the hip bone, you'll feel the hamstring engage a little bit more. Maybe you lengthen the left leg more. Maybe you lift the left knee a little bit. Just see if you can feel that. And let go. Come up to elbows. Optional here for my low back folks, right? If you have low back issues, maybe you stay down, torso down. Just come up to your elbows, be comfortable and casual. Otherwise, bend both knees. And then feel the outer hips, feel the glutes engage, feel the hamstrings press in and straighten. One more here. Just squeeze them in, squeeze them in, squeeze them in. How close those heels come to your butt is not a big deal. If you can feel the hamstrings engage, you're doing exactly what you should be doing. And release. Oh yeah, holy moly. Press into your hands, everybody. Come to table pose. Just gonna get this hair out of the way. I realized I forgot to put it up. So come to table pose and start with just some easy cats and cows. Just easy. Let's stretch out that back a little bit, especially since we did a back bend already.
right? So just start by working it out, stretch it out. You got it. Couple more. Last one, squeeze. And neutral spine, step forward, right leg. If you have your blocks handy, go ahead and put your hands underneath your blocks and stretch your front quadricep, or sorry, your left side quadricep, right front quadricep, but your left side quadricep. And then I want you to take this front foot and pull it back asymmetrically. We just did this in bridge pose. So you feel this hamstring on the right engage even as you're stretching the left quad, right? The body's confused. It's like, which one should I be doing? Well, do both, but don't worry about it, right? Breathe, really pull them back on the right hamstring or the right heel as you stretch the left quad, and then bend, watch the knees here, everybody, bend your left leg. Whoo. So what are we doing? Opposing muscles. I love the whole design of opposing muscles. I am stretching my left quadricep and I'm engaging my left hamstrings. So breathe. So we're doing what we talked about at the beginning of the class, that imbalance of quads usually being too tight, hammies being too loose. We're reversing that little formula. So squeeze it into your ability and then let go. Good, just simply switch sides. Left foot comes forward, right leg is back, your hands are on blocks if you have them. If you don't worry about it. Start to stretch into your right quad, your right front thigh, but then pull asymmetrically, really drag the left heel back so that the back of the leg engages. And just kind of notice that, right? Opposite sides, right leg stretching, left leg contracting. And then bend your right knee. Boy, you can really tell. I can really tell which side is tighter. Bend that knee, still pulling back as if you could squeeze the legs together, still pulling back that left heel. But now stretching right front leg and contracting the right back leg. Ooh, good. Breathe, everybody. I know this can be intense. And let go. Move the blocks out of the way just for a moment. Press into your hands, come to downward facing dog. Stretch out those lovely legs. You got it. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Press into your hands. Don't forget that upper body. Good. Plant the index finger and the thumb. Breathe. Come all the way to your tippy toes. Exhale, lower the knees until they almost touch. And then find that. Good. Squeeze your lower belly in. Find the legs, your 90-degree-ish. Yep, working the legs, and then lift the sit bones to come back to down dog. That's it. One more here. Lower the knees until they're almost touching. This time I want you tapping separate knees. So you're tapping right, left, right, left. Core work, left. Don't lift the hips, just tap the knees. You got it. Left, right, two more. Left, right, left, right. Hold. Lower the knees, release those toes. Just pat them out. And then step forward with your left leg. You're going to need your blanket or your towel. And I want you to set that towel right behind your right knee. So squeeze it in there best you can and then bend your knee. There are options here, right? Towel is one of them. Blanket is one of them. Block is one of them. You can take your block and squeeze it in between your knees. That can be tricky, slightly painful for some of you as that block digs in, so go work with what feels right. Keep that right leg bent. Find your breath. Take your other block under your right hand.
Squeeze that block, squeeze that towel, whatever you're using. Take your left arm up, reach it back, and see if you can find a foot or just your sacrum. Right, so the focus is not so much on this twist, the focus is on your hamstring. If you get crampy, let it go. Don't stay in it if you're cramping up. Find your breath. Good, release the hand, take the hand off your block, squeeze that block, or the blanket, or the towel, and release it. Ooh. All right, switch sides, my darling. We're gonna warm up more in a second, so hang in there with me. Block is around that left foot. You're taking your right foot forward. You're gonna take your block, your blanket, your towel behind your knee, behind your left knee. Find that little crack, that little crevice there, and then bend your knee and squeeze, right? And just, right? Just notice, holy moly, breathe. Your hands are on your blocks, your belly is toned, you're squeezing the blanket, the block, the towel. If you have none of the above, you're just squeezing that leg in where you can. Take your right arm, reach it up, reach it back. Maybe you find your foot, maybe not. Right? It's perfectly wonderful to just take your hand right to your sacrum and let that be your twist. There should be some tone to the low belly, right? You don't have to over squeeze. Try not to dump into that hand, that left hand, but just, but the focus here is not stretching the quad, which you're certainly feeling. It is on squeezing the hamstring. Oh, good, and release it. Woo. Take that blanket or whatever you're using out of the way. Move your blocks out of the way for now. Slide your right foot back. Plant your hands and come to down dog. Stretch it out. You got it. And then walk your hands all the way back to your feet, all the way back. Bend your knees, hands to knees. Come on up and roll it out. Woo, feel those legs already. Good, so we did this the other day. On Zoom, we're gonna do it again. Hands start at the hips. You're gonna take the legs and bring them together and then step them out wide. And then tap side to side. So tap in, tap out, right? Just tap. Why is this important? Warming up the legs, everybody. Tap it in. You can go as slow or as fast, reasonably speaking, as you want. You can go as wide or as narrow, right? If your balance is challenged, you're staying a little bit tighter in, no big deal. That's it, tap. All right, so what's coming from here? Heel to opposite hip, behind you. So here we go, tap it up, squeeze, squeeze. Hamstrings, squeeze. You got it. And squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Shake out that head, straight, shake out the shoulder, watch the backs of your knees. Bend your knees and come up again. Take that stance just a little less wide, a little more narrow. Hands come to hips. I want you to squeeze, heel back, heel back. You got it, heel back. So where we're gonna head in just a moment, just so you know, is we're gonna pause in mid-flight, okay? So when you're ready, stop, pause, squeeze. Release and pause and squeeze. Yep, pause, squeeze, step, squeeze, step, squeeze. You got it. Step, squeeze, balance work. Good, 2 more, squeeze, pause, squeeze. That one didn't pause at all. And let go and shake it out. Good. And then come back to the front of your mat.
Just have your blocks nearby. Inhale, reach up. Exhale all the way down. Soften the knees, step back, right leg. Drop your back foot to the side position. Think about warrior two. Take your hands up and then just relax the hands for now. Here's the difference, right? We normally talk about knee to ankle alignment, and that is similar, but I want you to pull the weight of the front hip back isometrically so that you're more in the heel and more engaging hamstrings, right? So here's the difference. If you come forward versus you come back just a little bit, and then lift your ball mound off the floor, front ball mound, front toes. Breathe, try to pull your front heel back. Big deep breath. Now take the arms out. Find warrior two, squeeze. Legs are active, back leg is also active, but you're pulling the front heel back toward the back leg. And release your front leg, straighten your front leg. Triangle pose. Reach that front hand forward, let it lower down to any part of your leg. Roll your left shoulder back, take the right arm up. Squeeze the legs. Imagine pulling your front foot back. That's it, breathe. Circle that right arm around and forward. Lower your hands to the floor, straighten out your legs, step back left leg. Breathe. Lower to both knees. Walk your hands forward, come into half plank, bend both knees, squeeze those hamstrings. Oh, squeeze your lower belly, don't sink the hips. Find your breath. Maybe lower your elbows to the floor, and push back up. Lower the legs, downward facing dog, shake it out. I know. Right foot forward. Back foot drops to the side position. You're gonna weight your heel heavier than normal as you press up. I'm just gonna turn all the way around so you can see if you need to see. So warrior two stance, hands are low. I'm gonna lean back into this hip to draw the weight more into my heel, right? Press the heel back, lift the front toes, the front ball mound, keep dragging the front heel back isometrically. Tone the belly, nice warrior two pose otherwise. Gaze over your front fingers. Feel the center of your heel pressing into the mat and trying to squeeze back. Find those hamstrings, everybody. Big deep breath. And then lower your front foot, straighten your front leg. Don't let the knee lock out. You know who you are. Reach forward, but it's not a dump. We've talked about that before. Just lower the hand anywhere on your leg and take the left arm up. Squeeze the belly, lengthen your tailbone, press into both legs. Find your breath. Circle that arm all the way forward. Bend your right knee, straighten your back knee. Step back, downward facing dog to plank pose. Knees down. Squeeze the heels toward your glutes. Breathe. And then only if you want, it's kind of a weird chaturanga, right? Then the elbows come down. Push up. Woo, squeeze those hammies, release, plank pose, downward facing dog. Stretch it out. Walk your hands all the way back to your feet. Bend your knees and come on up. And roll it out. How are the legs feeling, everybody? Shake them out, right? Send some love to these yoga bodies. All right, so just easy standing pose. Hands are to your hips.
Remember when we were here, we were doing this freeze motion. Well, we're just gonna play here a little bit with the legs, hips width apart, belly's toned in, tailbone is long. Shift into your left leg and bend your right and just see where it'll go. And squeeze. Good, same side. Remember a wall to a fingertips to a wall chair, also wonderful. Stay on that left side, see if you can bring your knee to your chest, but keep it squeezed in. Keep it squeezed in, press it back. Keep it squeezed in. Woo, take it up and let it go. Anybody feeling that besides me? I always thought my hamstrings were pretty good, but really, what do we do for those lovely muscles back here? Right? We don't do a lot. So here we are, doing a lot. Press into those legs. Press into your right foot. See if you can lift and bend your left. Focus right there. Sorry, Amy. Breathe. Whew. Belly is toned. Find your still point, your balance point. Keep the squeeze and bring the knee up. Keep the squeeze best you can. Don't worry about it if it's not big and bent, right? If your knees are hurting, don't overdo. And then squeeze up one more time. Woo, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And lower. And let go. And say hi to these sweet, happy hammies. All right, back to the front of your mat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale all the way down. Step back, downward facing dog. Find your breath. Plank pose. Now, my folks with, actually lower down to your knees. Those of you with wrist issues, come on down to elbows. Any of you. And then come to plank. Otherwise, you're on hands. If plank is challenging, you're on knees. And we're doing the same thing, maybe one knee at a time. Okay, hamstring curls. Otherwise, those of you who would like plank pose, long pose, belly squeeze, legs active, lift your right leg. And then squeeze it in and out for 5, 4, 3, arms active, 2, 1, hold. Everybody down dog, one-legged or 2, squeeze and lift the knee. Bring it back, keep that squeeze. Back to plank, back to regular plank. Lower your knees, child's pose. Woo. Breathe. See, when I get something on my mind, we go all out. Find your breath. Smile. Remember that quote that I read at the beginning of class. If you are doing yoga, you have a yoga body, no matter what, your flexibility or mobility. Bring these poses into your body to your ability. All right, come on up everybody, let's do the other side. Remember our options here, right? If you want to stay down on the knees, make sure you're rolling past the kneecaps and just squeeze either one in at a time or both in at a time to activate the hamstrings. Full plank, if you want to be on elbows, you're here, right? You're doing this one. Otherwise, you're on your hands, you're in plank. Press those lats, those outer back muscles, really squeeze those babies in. Lift your left leg. Find that pose. And then bend, squeeze, and straighten. For 4, 3, keep the upper body working. 2, and 1, keep it squeezed in, go to down dog.
Breathe, and then open the knee wide. You keep the hamstring squeezing. And then lower the knee, still a squeeze. Lower the foot. Find your breath. Walk the hands all the way back to your feet. Bend your knees, hands to knees, come on up. Shake it out. That's it. All right, balance work again, on or off your mat. Not real tricky balance, so just see at this point if you want to be on or off your mat, hands come to your hips. I want you to shift into your right foot and bring your left knee up. I want you to squeeze your heel toward your glute to your ability. Yep, just find that. Woo. And then let your left hand come to your left ankle. Bring the leg back. Roll the left shoulder back. Take the arm up. Press the hip forward to stretch the quad. Oh. Woo. Breathe. And then take the left foot and the left hand and push it away from you. Just push it away. Feel the back line really get strong. Breathe. Bring it back in. Bring the knee back up. Squeeze your heel toward your glute and let go. Shake it out. Shake, 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 shake. Okay. Other side. Left foot's down. Hands are to your hips. Press strong into that left leg. Bend your right knee. Bring it up as high as you can to squeeze the heel toward the hip. Find your balance, find your pose. Woo. And then take your right hand to somewhere on your foot, shin, ankle. Woo. Like too quick. And bring it back behind you. Press that front hip forward and feel the pose. The left arm goes up. Right shoulder rolls back, belly squeeze, left leg active. And then just draw the foot away from the hand. You're still holding it. I guess I maybe should have turned sideways. You're just holding the foot away from the glute. Feel how active that gets. Smile. I don't think there's some smile lines today. Big deep breath. As you release, come on up, bring that knee back to chest. And let it go. Shake it out, everybody. Holy moly. All right, come back to the front of your mat. We're getting there. Inhale, reach up. Exhale all the way down. Step back, down dog. And lower down to your knees. Grab your block or your blanket or your towel again. The nice thing about the block is it does give you a little bit more spacing behind your knee, but the corners of the block can really dig in and make your calf muscles talk to you. You can take your blanket and squeeze, or your towel and squeeze that in. You just have to have purchase, okay, whichever one you choose. So you're in table pose. Spread the fingers, squeeze the blanket or whatever you're using around your right knee, and then take it up and take it toward the floor. Squeeze it up, yep, and down. Keep squeezing, squeeze it up. 3 and 4, woo, and 5. Good, take it up and hold. Bring it sideways, squeeze it to the elbow and back. Squeeze it to the elbow and back. Holy moly, squeeze, we got 3. You got it. 2, squeeze that blanket. 1, hold. Squeeze, tuck the belly. Find your breath and lower. Oh.
This is awesome. This is awesome. Take it behind your left leg. Good. Squeeze, right? Hold on to that, baby, best you can. If you can't, don't worry about it. Your knees are on the floor. Your hands are planted, wrist pokes. Just bring the hands a little further forward, right? It's not about that right now. And then lift that left knee for 5. Squeeze it down. 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Bring it back up. Knee to outside elbow. Squeeze it, everybody. Full range of motion here. Oh, yeah. That's it. 3, and 4, and 5. Woo, and lower down. And release that blanket. And have a seat. Straighten the legs. Just chill. Flex and point. Let it straighten. Breathe. Shake it out. All right, so from this seated pose, I'm going to try a couple of things. If you happen to be on a bare floor, you can use the bare floor and your blanket or your towel. And if you're on the bare floor, actually I can turn sideways and just push my mat up. I know a lot of you are not on bare floor, so don't worry about it. We're going to do something else. So you're here and you're just going to slide and bring it up, right? If you are not on a bare floor, and I didn't say anything about getting like a paper plate or anything, you're just going to be on your mat like you normally are, but you're going to have to go lighter so you don't scrunch up your mat, right? You're just going to squeeze in. So whichever one you choose, whichever one you have available, go ahead and do that. So start with your left leg, on that or off, just push it out. Push into your heel to squeeze in. Push out, squeeze in, you got it. Squeeze in, squeeze in, last one. Squeeze in. Now hold that squeeze in wherever you are, plant your hands any direction that feels good for your shoulders. Normally this is taught with fingers forward. My shoulders don't like that. So I take my fingers out to the side, roll your shoulders back and lift your hips. Any amount, they can be down here. And then squeeze out, in, out, in, 3 more, out, pull it in, 4, 1 more, and 5, squeeze it in, and lift it off. Shake it out. Bring that blanket to the other heel, or you're on your mat, doing the slide on the mat. I know that's a little less easy, but just think of all the extra work you're getting. Good, right heel is to the blanket. Just press it out, pull it in. Press it out. Really pull. Think of what you're working here, right? Think of the hamstring. As we work on balance in the front and back of the legs, right? We not only help the health of our knees, but all of our balance poses. This is very much on purpose. Last one here for the squeeze. Good. And then your choice, find the shoulder, hand, arm position that feels good. See if you can lift your hips off the floor. And then 5 more. Press out and in. 4, squeeze it in. It's less worrisome on the out, it's squeeze it in on the in. 2 more. Press in, out, squeeze in, and out, and lower down. And if you've moved your mat out of the way to accommodate the floor, straighten it back out again. and come down onto your backs. All the way down. Grab your strap and place it at the front of your ankles, and then lower your feet to the floor. There's part of a strap on either side of your legs, of your hips. And then just don't worry about the strap for now, just leave it be. Lift your hips off the floor, bridge pose. If bridge is always hard for you, maybe a block under your hips will help make a difference. Pressing the backs of the arms, elbows, shoulders into the floor just gives us a little bit more grounding in order to lift the hips. Now, from here, I want you to lift your toes, your ball mounds off the floor and drag both heels back. We're almost done with these hamstrings, and we'll stretch them again before we're done. Good, squeeze, don't let the knees splay out. Just feel that. Woo. Yep, big deep breath. Keep pulling the heels back and then lower the feet, lower the hips. Shake it out. If you feel your lower back, don't go as high as one option. Really focus on lengthening the tailbone as your other option for bridge pose. For some people it can be a little tiresome for the low back. All right, where your feet are, I want you to walk them out so that you are not 90 degrees or straight up and down with your knees and your ankles. Plant your feet, don't worry about the strap. Press into your upper body, woo-hoo, and feel maybe a little more hamstring action. Pull the heels back. Ooh. Lift your toes, ball mounds off the floor. Squeeze your hips. Don't worry about how high you're going. This is all about these babies back here, right? Breathe. 5, 4, lengthen your tailbone. 3, 2, 1, and lower. Breathe for a moment. Now, one, you're going to stay here, or you're going to bring the heels back closer to the glutes, or you're going to walk them out a little more. The further out these feet go, the more your hamstrings have to work. So, fair warning, give it a try. Don't worry about your toes on the floor. Just dig right into your heels. Press the arms into the floor. Lift your hips off the floor. And then, woo, isometrically try to pull the heels back. Keep the glutes moving toward the knees. It's a weird thing, right? But we want the tailbone to be long here so that the lower back doesn't take the weight of the pose. Press into your heels. Feel that. Imagine that you're squeezing a block with your thighs so the knees don't splay out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. Oh, bring your knees to chest. I know we haven't gotten to the strap yet. We're doing that next. Just rock it out. Feel your hips. Flex your feet, shake them out. And then feet to the floor, back to your normal bridge alignment. So ankles and knees line up. You have the strap on either side of you, and I want you to walk your fingers down the strap so that you have some decent purchase on it. You've got a little bit of tension there. And then you're pressing those shins or those ankles back into the strap. From here, press the shoulders down and lift. So you've just got enough tension on the strap to get the feedback of your shins moving forward, right? The heels slightly moving back, the glutes, hips engaged, the chest lifting, everything soft. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, sweet. 2, 1. Release the strap, hold the pose. Release the pose all the way to the floor. Bring your knees to your chest.
Take the strap around your right foot. Take that right leg up. Take the left leg to the floor. Your knee can be bent or it can be straight. I want you to smooth out the flesh of your left front thigh. Just smooth it out. Press it down toward the floor. Breathe. And then without your leg really moving, I want you to try to push your leg back down to the floor while holding the strap in place. So it's as if you would lower it down, but you're not. You're not going to let it. You're just firing up, engaging, centering. And then relaxing. Good, one more. Just push the leg away. Keep hold of it. And release. Bend that knee, switch sides, left leg goes in and up, right leg goes long, smooth out that right front thighs if you're smoothing the creases out of a pair of pants. Roll the left shoulder back, keep a good hand on the strap so there's tension there, and then try to pull the leg away while holding on. Breathe. And release. Good, one more. Try to pull it away, but resist. This is a technique known as active isolated stretching. We're doing a variation of that. And release, pull it in. Bend your knee, release your strap. Bend both knees. Shift your hips to the right side of your mat. Bring your knees to your chest. Lower your knees to the left and come into a nice easy twist. Just breathe, everybody. Stay here if this feels good, or just straighten your top leg toward the side to stretch out just a little bit more. Watch the hips here. If your top leg is bent, go ahead and, or straight, go ahead and bend it. Take your top leg up, leave your bottom one on the floor. Just as wide as you can for you. Yeah, just breathe. Release that foot to the floor, bring your left knee up. Straighten your hips. I'm just gonna turn around so I don't have the wall there. Shift your hips to the left side of your mat, bring your knees up. Lower your knees to the right, find your twist on the side. Easy stuff here. Find your breath. Find your own body's wisdom for how deep to go. Only if you want, straighten the top leg. Feel your belly. And if your top leg is still straight, bend your top leg and then just take it up. Take it up away. Keep your bottom leg down on the floor, almost to a deeper stretch here. Breathe. And then bring your top leg up, or your right leg up. Bring both knees to chest. Straighten one leg all the way down to the left corner of your mat. Straighten your right leg all the way to the right corner of your mat. Shake out your hips, squeeze your butt, squeeze your glutes, re-engage everything. And let it go. And then hands to your side, let's find Shavasana.
If your lower back is chatty, please go ahead and bend your knees. Come back to the way we started class. But then allow your body to soften, to settle, to breathe. I want to touch back on the quote that we read at the beginning of class so that you can bring your Shavasana into that space. Any person in a body who is practicing yoga is living in a yoga body, regardless of age, build, gender, or flexibility. Love your body, love your mind, love your heart. Ride their evolution with curiosity and delight. Let that sink deep into your bones. Soften even more into the hard floor, allowing this Shavasana to be your meditation. Soften what you can. Soften even more. And as you're ready, start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Slowly draw your knees to your chest, maybe some knee circles. Rolling over to one side and slowly, comfortably coming all the way back up to your seated pose.